What's going on, guys? Christian here with Jose for our Chalk Talk video. So Jose, we're going to break this down into 4 quarters since we are in the sports and entertainment industry. So that'll be broken into the preseason, which will just be a quick introduction, your name, where you're from, where you work, and then one aspect of sports do you appreciate the most, and then later go into quarter 2, your training days, which will be your career path, high school, and then your early college years. Third quarter is your regular season, which is going to be your current role, your day-to-day in sports, and then the playoffs, which is going to be to round it off and end up with some career advice. To start, just going to give a brief introduction, your name, where you're from, and where you work, and then one aspect of sports that you appreciate the most.
Nice to meet all you Sports Biz Campers. Excited to share with you all. My name is Jose Duverge, Director of Brand Partnerships for the Players Tribune, presented by Minute Media. And I am from Brooklyn, New York. My family is descended from Dominican Republic, but I was raised here in New York City. And my favorite thing about sports overall are probably 2 things. One, the impact that sports as a general has on society. I would say the positive impact, especially with what's going on now in the country and in the world overall. Secondly, as a former athlete, I really appreciate all the lessons that I've learned as a participant of sports. That goes down to preparation, discipline, practicing, and really challenging myself to get the most out of myself so I can become the best player that I could be at that time. But now those same skills and that same approach applies to my professional life.
So now that you say about how it's kind of influenced your career and your early childhood and the impact it's had on you. So when you were younger, what did you initially want to do with your career? And then when you were younger, did you spend more time playing or watching sports? And then what was kind of your first break into the sports industry in your early career?
Yeah. So when I was younger, in the neighborhood I grew up in, unfortunately, there just weren't a lot of role models as it relates to people that were working in the sports industry from the administrative side or the commercial side of the industry. My connection to sports was you were either an athlete on the field or you were buying a ticket to go to the game, right? I had no understanding of everything that took place behind the scenes to create these massive events where you're getting 40, 50,000, 100,000 people going to watch these 2 teams compete. So I was going to be a professional baseball player, and that was where my heart was. That's where all my attention was, and that's where all my energy went. What ended up happening for me was I ended up going to college to play baseball. And at college, I realized that I was good, but probably not good enough to play professionally. I had an opportunity to get a few small offers, but nothing that would be that I could bet a future on. I had a few really fringe level jobs of just trying to figure out ways to make money. I was a door-to-door salesman for a little while. I was a mortgage broker for a little while, really just trying to find my way. And then a college professor called me one day asking me if I was interested in an internship with the New York Jets. And I said, absolutely. And when I was fortunate enough to earn the internship opportunity, that was when my world changed. It totally exposed me to the industry and everything that I needed to know. And I fell in love, and I've been pursuing my career in sports ever since.
Really good content there. So we're gonna move into the next piece, which is gonna be your day-to-day now, and how your hard work has helped get you to where you are today. So if a student were to shout at you for a day, what would they see you doing? Like, what would your day-to-day look like? And then what are the 2 aspects of your job that are most satisfying? And then one skill that has helped you thrive in your respective industry.
So in my role, my day-to-day consists of a lot of interacting with people. I work with multiple people across the Players Tribune and Minute Media team that work in marketing, that work in production, work on the operations side. So I get a chance to interact with all of them on a day-to-day basis. But I'm also responsible for identifying and working with brands that are interested in storytelling and content to help tell their brand stories by leveraging our value proposition, which is how we work with athletes to tell the stories of athletes from their voices themselves. as I mentioned, there are two things that I really, really enjoy about my job. And one is craftsmanship. There's truly an art to what we do. I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of sales training to really help me manage the process, manage how I interact with brands and how I work with brands to accomplish agreements and deals, partnerships that we can both benefit from. And then secondly is ownership. Part of my job, I'm a relationships person. So although I work for a company, the relationships are mine. The book of business is mine. So the entrepreneurial aspect of what I do is something I really, really enjoy, and gets me motivated every day, because every day is different because of that aspect of what I do. And then the last part I would say, as it relates to what has contributed to my success, is effort. I feel like that's one thing, regardless of whether or not I was the smartest person in the room or whether or not I was the most talented. What I was always able to do is make sure that I outworked the people around me, and it's proven to be a successful approach for me thus far.
And I would definitely agree that your success has come off your effort and your mentality, so I commend you on that. So now we're in the playoffs, last quarter, game time. If you could go back and give your high school self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be? And then after attending this camp, what's the next step that a high school student should take to hopefully be in your position one day?
Yes, as far as advice, I would say execute the vision. And what I mean by that is, one, you have to have a vision first. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now? You should know who that person is, what that person's life is going to look like, and it should all be culminating around what your desires are. Once you have what that vision is, you got to build a plan to get there, right? How are you going to be able to hold yourself accountable each and every day? You're getting closer and closer to that vision. And the vision changes, by the way, so it's okay if you make adjustments, but execute the vision. Secondly would be control the things you can control. And that's where my effort comes in. I've learned to block the noise, right? I'm a person of faith. So if I can't control it, it's in God's hands. And if I can't control it, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that the outcome is what I want it to be. And as far as advice to sports biz campers, stay hungry, continue to learn, and be aggressive. Be aggressive with your dreams. Be aggressive with your vision. Be intentional with how you go about it. Lean on the people who are investing in you, and seek out those that you can help you get to that next level. It's going to be a long process. Just commit to the process, and I promise everything will come together. Get involved a lot earlier. As I mentioned, I was pursuing a career in professional baseball, and that's where all my attention was. And I probably didn't pay as much attention to the academic side of my life as I should. And if I would have done so, I think I would have been able to achieve a lot more, a lot faster, and feel I didn't miss out on opportunities, which I believe I did just because I wasn't prepared already, because I didn't start as soon as I did. As far as advice for you sports biz campers, I would say focus on the things that you can control, identify what your vision is, build a plan for your vision, and it's okay to get help. You shouldn't be building that plan by yourself. Build it with someone that you trust and that has experience and maybe a mentor of yours, and commit every single day to getting closer to that vision. And the plan can change, but you have to commit to the process. And I promise, if you do that, you'll be just fine.
The high school students are really going to appreciate this. To the sports biz campers, stay tuned for our next guest speaker for the Chalk Talk. But I want to thank Jose for joining us on our Chalk Talk, and stay tuned for more content, guys. Peace.
Peace.